Good morning everyone. Today I'm going to explain the characterizations of measurable sets. There is the first theorem which gives us the properties of the measurable sets, that whenever we are having any subset of R, then the following statements are equivalent. The first is measurable. Then this implies that given epsilon greater than 0, there exists an open set O containing E such that the outer measure of O minus E is less than epsilon. B implies C. There is a G delta set G containing E such that the outer measure of G minus E is 0. Similarly, C implies D. Given epsilon greater than 0, there exists a closed set F contained in E such that the outer measure of E minus F is less than epsilon. And the D implies E, that there is a F sigma set F subset of E such that the outer measure of E minus F is 0. And then E implies A. So we have to show that all these statements are equivalent, right? So the first statement is E is measurable. Then it implies that there exists an open set O containing E such that the outer measure of O minus E is less than for given epsilon greater than 0. So we have to show this thing. So for this, first we consider that the outer measure of E is finite. If it is finite, then already we have proved this result. Then there exists an open set O contained in E such that the outer measure of O is less than outer measure of E plus epsilon. And since both the sets O and E, they are measurable, so we can find out the outer measure of O minus E, which is same as that outer measure of O minus outer measure of E, right? Because E is completely contained in O, so we can write this thing, that the outer measure of O minus E is outer measure of O minus outer measure of E less than epsilon. So from here we get the thing which we want to prove. So whenever the outer measure of E is finite, we can use the previous result, that there always exists an open set O satisfying this condition, and using this condition we can prove the given property. Now if the outer measure of A is infinity, then what will happen? In that case, we can consider the set of real numbers as the union of disjoint finite intervals. We can always write down the set of real numbers as the union of disjoint finite intervals. Finite intervals means here the length of the interval is finite. For example, if we can consider in to be as I1 to be as, let's suppose, open interval 0 to 1 from the close from the one side, then take the union open from 1 and 2 from the closed 2 close from. So all these intervals having the finite length, and all these intervals are disjoint, and its union is nothing but the set of real numbers. So we can always write down the set of real numbers as the union of countable union of disjoint finite intervals. Now further we can define En set as the intersection of E with In. Now clearly the measure of En is finite because measure of In is finite. Since In, they are the intervals, so their measure will be equal to their length. And since these intervals are having the finite length, so the outer measure of En is also finite because it is a subset of In, right? So now we can apply the above. Whenever the measure of any set is finite, there for given epsilon, this thing hold. So for En, we can find open sets On containing En such that this condition hold, that this is less than epsilon by 2n. Now we take the union of all these Ons, then clearly the union of open set, countable union of open set, is again open. So O is an open set, and since each En is contained in On, then the union of En will be contained in union of On, which implies E is contained in O. So E is contained in O, and it satisfies that O minus E, which is nothing but the union of On minus union of En. So you can take union to outside, and this will become this, and further implies that the outer measure of this should be equal to the outer measure of this, but union is less than equal to the summation, the outer measure of On minus En. It satisfies the countable subadditive property, and we get this is strictly less than epsilon because each outer measure of this set is less than epsilon by 2n. So when you substitute over here epsilon by 2n, So we get a series, GP series of 1 over 2n, with the first term half and the common ratio half. So we get the sum of this series as a upon 1 minus r, which is 1. So we get this is less than epsilon, and this thing we want to prove that whenever E is measurable, there exists an open set O containing E so that the outer measure of O minus E is less than epsilon. So whatever the case, whether the outer measure of E is finite or infinite, in each case we get an open set satisfying this condition. Now B implies C means for given epsilon there exists an open set O containing E such that the outer measure of O minus E is less than epsilon, and we want to prove that there exists a G delta set G containing E such that their outer measure is 0. Means you can say the outer measure of G is same as that outer measure of E. So for this we consider epsilon to be 1 by n, and corresponding to 1 by n we consider an open set On containing E with this condition. Now we can take the intersection of all these ONs. Since all these ONs are open, and intersection of open will become G delta set, and we get that this set is also measurable such that E is contained in G, because E is contained in On for each n, so clearly E is contained in the intersection of On, right? So which implies E is contained in G. Further, outer measure of G minus E, clearly it will be less than equal to the outer measure of On minus E, because G minus E will be a subset of On minus E, so its measure should be less than equal to this. But further, this measure is less than 1 by n, and this inequality holds for each n, and your left hand side is independent of n. So as on letting n tending to infinity, we get the outer measure of G minus E is less than equal to 0, but we know that the outer measure is always greater than equal to 0, so this should be 0, and this thing we want to prove that the outer measure of G minus E is 0. Next we want to show that C implies D. Rather proving C implies D, we will prove that C implies A, and then A implies D, then automatically C implies D. So C implies A means you are having a G delta set so that the outer measure of G minus E is 0, where E is contained in G. We have to show that E is measurable. Now just see, we can write E to be as G minus G minus E. This is our G set, let's suppose, and this is our E. Our G is contained, our E is contained in G, so we can write E to be as G minus E set will be what? It will be G, G में से minus कर दो, G minus E. You will have E set, right? Now since G is measurable because this is G delta set, G minus E set is measurable because its measure is 0. Its outer measure is 0. Difference of two measurable set is again measurable, implies E is measurable. So therefore E is measurable. And next we want to show that A implies D. Now since E complement is measurable, so if E complement is measurable in view of B, B is what? Then for given epsilon there exists an open set O containing that set so the outer measure of O minus E is less than epsilon. So for E complement we can always have an open set O satisfying this condition, but O minus E complement will be same as that E minus O complement. You can easily prove this thing. You consider any element from the left hand side, you will show that this is contained in this, and similarly you will consider any element from this set and you can show this is contained in this, so these two are same. And you can also see from the figure also, since E complement is contained in O, right, so O minus E complement will be this set, and what is your E? E is this one. When you subtract O complement from it, it is again this E minus O complement. Both sets are same. So you can easily verify from the figure also, and you can check using this property that whenever A is subset of B and B is subset of A means these two are same. Now further we can put F to be O complement, because O is open implies O complement is closed, and since E complement is a subset of O, which implies that O complement is a subset of E, right? So we get F is contained in E such that the outer measure of these two sets are same, means outer measure of O minus F is less than epsilon. So this thing we want to prove that whenever E is measurable, we always have a closed set F contained in E, so that their outer measure are very very small. The difference of the set outer measure are very very small. Now further, D implies E, means whenever you are having a closed set F contained in E satisfying this condition, there exists F sigma set such that the outer measure of E and F, they are same, right? This is 0. So again we can consider epsilon to be 1 by n. For corresponding to this epsilon, you are having a closed set Fn such that this condition hold. Now we take the union of all these closed sets, union will become F sigma set such that F is contained in E, and clearly this E minus F is a subset of E minus Fn's, so this, the measure of this will be less than equal to this. Now you can take less than 1 by n, and as this inequality holds for each n, so when n is approaching to infinity, we get this is 0. So this is less than equal to 0, but we know that this is always greater than equal to 0, so hence this should be 0. Now the last one, E implies A. For this we can write E to be as F is contained in E, we can write E to be as F the union with E minus F, that will become E. Now just see, F is measurable. Why? Because it is F sigma set. E minus F is measurable because the measure of E minus F is 0. So any set having outer measure 0 is measurable. Union of two measurable is again measurable, which implies E is measurable.